Hey Flosstube, it's Lori of Mischievous Stitches. It is Monday, July the 31st, and I'm back here with you today to show you lots of things. I've had a great stashing week, had a great weekend, and I got a little bit of time this past week to work on the Heirloom Stitching Sampler by the Victoria Sampler, which is a whip that I had picked up. I showed it to you in my last video, and I had just completed the top portion of the alphabet and had started on the over one vine around the alphabet. Well, that is now completed. So all the vine is completed. And I started band number 2, which is the satin stitch and Smyrna cross band there. And if you remember, I was upset because it was centered incorrectly. So I was going to pull what I had started out, restart it, and then I said, let me measure. The border was cut to a 4-inch border, which I normally do either 2 or 3 inches. So that's the reason for that. When I started it, I'm used to 3 inches, and that's what I had done, is come in, 3 from the top and 3 from the sides for the start, which gave me an extra 2 inches over there. So I did not pull it out. I stayed with it. I've got plenty of edging on there. We're good to go. But I've learned just this year, 3 will be my minimum border on a fabric now. I had an issue, I think, with my tapestry sampler. I only had a 2-inch border, and it is difficult when you stitch on a Q-snap to get to the edge of the fabric and start stitching when you only have 2 inches of border. So from now on, 3 inches for me. I know everyone has their preference. That's just mine. I did make a new start on Saturday. I got very little done, and it is a mystery sampler from several years ago. It is Mary Cotton by Lottie Daw, who, like I've said before, Lottie Daw is one of my favorite designers. And I had it kitted up, so I just pulled my fabric out and made a start. And when you get together with a group of friends, it's not a great time to start stitching on a piece. You need to have an established piece, but that's all I got stitched. Not very much. I left my scissors at home. I started this and got sidetracked, and all the girls got up and left me at the table by myself. So my friend Pam and Natasha, we took off Saturday morning to Atlanta to join some of the stitchers up there for, I don't know the correct term that they used for the gathering, but I'm just going to say gathering of guilds. There were 3 guilds that were represented, plus a group of us that included me that were not part of any guilds, which I will be because I really enjoyed myself. But we went up there, and what they were doing was they had a couple of ladies had passed away, so they had their stash there, plus other members of those guilds were donating items to be sold, and the proceeds from the sale went to fund a scholarship that would be awarded next year from the guild, which I thought was a great thing. And that's what I would hope too. I would hope if something ever happened to me, I know this is kind of morbid, but that my husband would call up Yvonne or Natasha or any of my other stitch friends, Dawn or Karen, and say, hey, come get this stuff, and they would just come get it and give it to or sell it or whatever to a good home. Not something I hope to worry about anytime soon, but so anyway, we're up there, and there were tables and tables full of needlepoint, beading, fabric, instructional books, charts, kits. I'm thinking 6 of the lunchroom tables down one whole side of this wall. There's a stage in the room that we were in that was covered with the books. There was a table with finished items for bid. There was a table where, I forget what they called it. It was a really cute name, but it was bags where you buy tickets and you put tickets with your name on it in certain bags where you were, trying to win the item that the bag was in front of. And I did win a couple of items, and I'm going to show you. One was this cute little cloth Ort container that was collapsible, so you can put it into your stitch bag and take it with you to put your snippets in. I did win that. And actually, there was a lady that was new to the guild, was sitting at the table that I was at, that actually made them, so that was great. I got to thank her and tell her how beautiful it was. And I won this pin with sterling silver beads. I don't think, the lighting in here is terrible in the evening, but there's that. And it says, an old key to open your heart, a new dream to bear wish upon, a borrowed strand of silver beads for good luck, a sparkly blue crystal to brighten your day. So I will put that on my stitch bag. Also, I got a chance to meet the other part of D Squared. I had met the first half earlier in the month, and I got to meet Debbie this past weekend, who was wonderful and just as hilarious as she is on her videos. Those two had me rolling all day long. They are just hilarious. They're just great friends, and so if you've not popped over to watch the D Squared and their videos, you need to do so, or you're missing out if you need a laugh. But she come in and she has been watching my video, and I had been talking off and on to Donna, so she knew I was there, and she brought me 2 Darlene Osteen charts. So this is the designer that I am just loving right now, and these are the 2 charts she brought me, which I did not have. So thank you, Debbie. I very much appreciate them. So at the table there was Schoolhouse Stitcher, which is Jessica, and Stitcherella Natasha. Diana of It Is Kismet, and of course Donna and Debbie from D Squared, as well as Melissa from Persnickety Stitcher. So I had a great time with you ladies, and if you have not watched their videos, pop on over and give them a look. They are all very experienced stitchers that have much to offer on their videos. This week, because I am on a Darlene Osteen kick, the day before going up, I had received in the mail a bundle of charts that I had gotten off of eBay. So I'm going to show them to you and try to be kind of quick. This is the counted thread sampler. The flower sampler. This is one of the reasons I got the bundle. This is the other. This is Virtue Outshines the Stars. Love this. Love it. The Next Step Sampler 2. The Star Sampler. The Oak Tree Sampler. The Early American Teaching Sampler, and the 1870 Sampler. Darlene Osteen is a designer from the late 80s, early 90s. I believe that she also taught a lot of classes. She had a few books, and she was the designer for the Needles Praise. Tash the Starcross Stitcher was showing some of one of her designs in her Stitch Mania Starts, which is when I started digging for her. And once I started digging, oh my goodness, I found a chest full of gold, because I have been buying her charts ever since, or collecting them. I also found that she has books, so I got this book, and I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know anyone who had the book. I found it online. I took a look. I loved it so much, I've already ordered book number 1. So this is one of the samplers. And I actually had ordered this. Actually, it came to me in magazine pages, so I have it already. I had gotten this. I think I showed it in my last video. Sorry about the lighting. I'll fix that. And I'm not going to show them all to you, but just know you can see I've marked several. And here's another. I'm looking forward to getting book 1. If book 1 is the reason there's a book 2, book 2 is awesome. I can't imagine what to expect in book 1. So while I am at the gathering, I'm starting my new project. I am starting my Mary Cotton sampler. They were giving the treasurer's report and the welcome and just generally talking to us. And of course, they finally stopped, and I'm working on my project, my head down. I'm concentrating. I'm in the zone. I look up, and all the girls are gone. I turn around, and Diana and Jessica and Natasha are at the tables like vultures. The good thing is that I had said ahead of time, okay, this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the Needles Praise, and I'm looking for words of praise. So if you see any of those, just grab them for me. And they did. They were, not Jessica, but Natasha was true to her word. She looked exactly for what I had asked her to look for. But there were lots of different needlework mediums, but there were 2 totes front to back full of cross-stitch charts. So that's where they were. And there were a line behind them. You know, everyone's not necessarily a line. They're just gathered up and kind of shifting to who can get to the front. But there's Jessica and Natasha. And so when Diana and I got up front, what I did was, because I could see from behind her, she looked and I stood over her shoulder. If I saw something, I hollered. But we had a plan. We conquered. I came home with all of this. These items were, I'm missing one, but these items were a quarter, 50 cents, $1. So I'm going to show you what I got real quick. This is Mary Mansion's sampler, 50 cents. The Royal Remembrance Pincushion by the Nostalgic Needle, 50 cents. Noah's Stocking by Carriage House, $1. Needles Praise, thank you Natasha, 25 cents. Love it, love it. Alma Lynn's Santa Clauses. Words of Praise, Teresa's sampler, 50 cents. Linen and Lace sampler by Heart's Content, which is Maureen Appleton, which I have had the pleasure of meeting at a trunk show. She's a great lady. I'm not going to pull it out to show you, but it is a band sampler with lots of white work. Victorian Heart Anger Sewing Accessory, which this is an instructional booklet. And Hill sampler. I think Diana grabbed this for me and said, oh, this looks just like you. And I love the border on this. She was so right. Peekaboo Pincushion by Indigo Rose. I am so happy with the things I picked up. I'm excited about them, excited about the starts. I just need to find a job that I can stay home and stitch all day and still have a home and be able to eat, and we would be doing really well. I would be a happy woman. Also, I showed this on Instagram several weeks ago, and I think I showed it in my last video, but this is Pins and Needles sampler by Theron Traditions, and there's a lot now of demand to have a stitch along for this. Emily and I are going to get together, I think tonight, while this is uploading, I'm going to start a Facebook stitch along page for this chart. We will start on September 1st. So anyone that wants to join, come on in, join us. That means you, the striped rose. I just want you to know that woman is an instigator. I think every time she posts something, I have to have it. Now, is it her or is it me because I'm not able to, no self-control? I don't think it's me. I don't think that it's I don't have any self-control. I think it's Michelle. So I showed this chart, and I think online, and I think I then showed the American Sampler. So then Michelle says, oh, the American Sampler, that's a chart that was in a magazine that I have, that there's also 3 other charts. So there was a English Sampler. Love it. This purchase was brought to you by Michelle at the Straight Rose. And then this is the Dutch sampler. Love it. And this is the one that I had shown, the American sampler, who I have another friend who didn't have it and couldn't find it, so it's on its way to Miss Michelle Rudy. And I think that's it. I don't think there was anything in this one. There was 3 charts, not 4. No, there was a Spanish sampler. Did I miss the Spanish sampler? I did. Well, bear with me and I'll find it. Maybe. Anywho. So we were all talking one night on Instagram back and forth, and I had to go right out that night. And I just happened to get these 4 magazines in a bundle because I had to have them. I just, after seeing what Michelle posted, I just had to have them. So I bought them, and I can't find the Spanish sampler. I wanted to show you. It's not in here. I'm sorry. I can't flip to it quick enough. But I have those. And then when I ordered pins and needles, I also ordered this one because Pam of Just Keep Stitching has this on her wall. Isn't this the one, Pam? So this purchase was brought to you by Pam. Look at that nice shading. I'm all over the place. So I was gifted by Michelle Hudson. I had mentioned on one of my videos that I am wanting to do a handkerchief quilt. And you ladies are so sweet because guess what? I got gifts of handkerchiefs. So I'm going to show you the ones that Michelle sent me. Aren't they beautiful? And she sent me this one because she said it's to go along with my channel name, Mischievous Stitches. So thank you, Michelle. I really appreciate it. I can't wait to use it. Probably won't start on that quilt until when it gets a lot cooler. So maybe in November, December. And I have told you about this random act of kindness, but haven't showed you what was actually received. Because I left it downstairs. But Diana of Ballard had sent me this when I had mentioned the quilt squares that I had purchased, and she sent me this book. And I think she said she had did it in different colors, but she had finished it up and she loved it. And so just think of the different color choices that you can use with this pattern. It's great. She also in the package sent me Main Street Bookstore by Country Cottage Needleworks. I'm going to do this side. This lighting's awful. And G.H.I. by the Prairie Schooler. And then Sweet Marlene of Stitching by the Lake. She contacted me too about some handkerchiefs because she said that she had made one herself for her granddaughter, and she had a few that she didn't use and asked if I'd like to have them, and I said sure, I'd love them. So she sent these, and you know she couldn't just stop there, so she sent me this the Shepherd's Bush Button Moon chart. Can you see that? And Barbara Anna Design is Christmas Biscornu, which I have been wanting to try one of Barbara Anna's Biscornus, so I'm very happy to have it. Christmas fabric for finishing ornaments, as well as a Marlene bag, and I love the zipper pull. The little birds. with their beaks touching. This is the perfect size for to have a kitted up small in there. And I love the zipper pull. It's the Eiffel Tower. Thank you so much, Marlene. I truly appreciate it. And I love this just because you made it. So, those are my gifts this week. Like I receive them all the time. What else do I have going on? I took notes and I've not even looked at it. Oh, everyone's asked, you know, how things are going with the room. Well, I finished up the bookcase. I'm going to pan it around. Just keep in mind this is still not in order. And I hope you can see it because there's the bookshelf. Now that bookshelf has been mine since I was a teenager. And it's been in my daughter's room. And I had decided I was going to try to strip it down. Well, I guess I put about 15 different coats of paint on it when I painted it as a teenager, not knowing what I was doing. And that wasn't happening. So I decided to paint it a different color. And it was awful. I don't know what I was thinking with that fabric choice. Hold on, let me move this. I'm going to try to get a better lighting. There you go. So I don't know what I was thinking when I chose the paint color, but I ended up scrapping it. I had started it and got almost the whole first coat on it, and I told my husband, I'm hating this. So I went back with white, and I ended up just painting the back of the shelves the yellow like the walls, and I really do like it. So I got that done this weekend, got it up here, and just put a few things on the shelves. I still got a few more things I want to stick on there. So hopefully my project this weekend will be to finish that corkboard, which was supposed to be my project 2 weeks ago. But hey, they're my goals. I'll break, you know, things happen. Life happens. What else has been happening? My daughter left 2 weeks ago tomorrow. And I get to see the pictures, and we're doing, which I love the video chat. It's wonderful to be able to see her face. They're not always good quality, but to see her face and to interact with her, and just, you know, when we're talking and she's answering, to see the expressions on her face as she's talking is great. But it's hard. It is so hard. I know so many of you have been through it or are going through it, and it is hard to open up the refrigerator and see your daughter's gelato there and have a meltdown, not the ice cream melting. Have a meltdown standing at the refrigerator with the freezer door open. That was me a few nights ago. Or I got up this morning, and of course she's 3 hours behind me, and she said, I miss y'all very, very much. And that made me think she's too, of course, feeling what I'm feeling. And then I had a meltdown the whole way to work this morning. So, life's just going in a different direction. Not a bad direction, just a new direction. And I'm adjusting and I'm adapting, and so is she. And then my son will be leaving on the 22nd of this month for San Antonio for basic training, and I won't be losing just one child. Well, I'm not losing them. Not just one is flying the nest, but two is flying the nest. And I've got to work to keep myself busy, to keep myself occupied, because if I'm in this house, like yesterday afternoon, by myself, it's not good. I'm left with my thoughts, and I can't concentrate on anything. I'm lost in my thoughts, and that's exactly what it is. I'm lost in my thoughts. So, for all of you that are going through the same thing, I feel you. I feel you. Stitching. I just want you to know, real quick, while I'm deep thinking, that all of you are my stitch sisters and brothers. And with all these random acts of kindness and what I see others are showing to other stitchers, and those stitchers are showing in return. It's the random acts of kindness, and it's the outpouring of love and support to Danielle and Jay from the other stitchers for what they're going through. And it's a great community, and I love being part of it. And watching how all of us interact with one another lets me know that there's still so much good in the world. So I'm glad, I am happily part of your family here on Flosstube. And I want to thank you for showing on a bad day, coming home and seeing the love that you show to one another. And that your passion and your powers are being used for good. It warms my heart. You guys bring joy to me, and I want you to know that. So anyway, I'm going to leave you there. Everyone have a great week. I hope to be back next weekend in the daylight, not after work, or with better lighting, to show you some more stitching, to show you my new start on the Nantucket Rose sampler. And don't forget, if you're interested in joining the Stitch Along for the Needles and Pins, they're in Creations with Emily and I. Hopefully that page will be up this evening. And until next weekend, everyone have a great week. Get across lots of X's. Hugs and stitches. See you soon. Bye.